everyone. Let's go ahead and get started. Just like usual, sitting up nice and tall through our spine here. We're going to chin tuck back for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, maintain that length through the spine. We're going to do our head turns. Here we go. 1, back to center. 2, back to center. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, we're going to do a 3-minute warm-up. The first exercise is just going to be a march. Okay, try to get those knees up high and work on that opposite hand foot pattern. So if my left knee's up, my right elbow is up, right? Seated or standing. I'm going to do this one all standing for 1 minute. Let's get ready and begin. You can do this seated. Okay, just nice big, get those arms swinging. All right, everything moving here. All right, for our standing, if you're seated, it's going to stay the same. If you'd like to add a little bit of complexity to it, we're going to march it up. 2, 3, 4, and back. 2, 3, 4, and up. 2, 3, 4, and back. 2, 3, 4. So you can stay still if you prefer it, or do that count in your head, forward and back. We're going to our cherry pickers with an option to reach overhead next, but we have 15 more seconds here first. Last 5 seconds here. 3, 2, and 1. Whew, okay. Deep breath. Feet are wider than shoulder width apart. Seated or standing, we're going to do our 4 count cherry pickers. Ready? And begin. 2, 3, with the option to reach up, okay? So it's reaching outwards, reaching middle, reaching inwards, option to reach up. If you don't want to reach up, you can reach out, middle, in, and just bring your hands to hip height. And up. Good. Keep it going. I'm going to show it seated too. It looks the same. I'm just sitting myself down. Okay. You're not forcing anything. You're just going through your range of motion. We've got one more move. We're going to do our mambo next. Okay. So that's going to be a quick 1, 2, 3. And then a side step. So it's going to be, remember, it's 1, 2, 3, side step. 1, 2, 3, side step. 1, 2, 3, side step. So count, do that, say that over and over in your head so that you can get that beat. If we're seated, 1, 2, 3, tap. 1, 2, 3, tap. 1, 2, 3, tap. Okay, so that's either or. Let's get ready and begin. 1, 2, 3, tap. 1, 2, 3, tap. Okay, so here's our seated. I'm going to move to standing to demo that again. 1, 2, 3, side step. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. You can stay completely on your full foot, or if you feel comfortable with this pattern, you can kind of work on the ball of your foot, you know, on your toes a little bit. Your heels are lifted slightly. It's just an option if you feel comfortable with it. 1, 2, 3, side step. Once we get more and more used to this pattern, you can kind of add your own flair to it, right? Add the rhythm to the movement, right? Not just the count. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, there is our mini warm up. All right, we're going to go into our first block here. Okay, 45, 15, just 3 exercises, 9 minutes long. This is our lateral 3 count march. Okay, so it's kind of like easing in with one more core warm-up move. 1, 2, 3, hold. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so you're kind of a little quicker on those laterals, and then you have to stop that momentum. Okay, it looks the same if you're seated, except for you're not moving back and forth. 1, 2, 3, hold. 1, 2, 3, hold. Okay, all right, second one, squat. All right, goblet squat. All right, so second one, or our leg extensions, our seated leg extensions. Third one, curl, press, bring it back. Okay, staying in that neutral grip, which means our knuckles for both of those movements stay facing either side of the wall here, okay? All right. If overhead is not comfortable for your shoulders or your neck or your back, you're going to do curl, knuckles down, external rotation, bring it back. Okay, so for this one, your knuckles will stay down if you're doing this option here. Okay, and that option is if it hurts to press overhead in any way. Otherwise, knuckles are out to the side, curl, press, bring it back. Okay, all right. 45 seconds is going on the clock. We are starting with our lateral 3 count march. I'm going to be doing round 1 seated. Let's get ready and begin. So 1, 2, 3, hold. 2, 1, 2, 3. So on that little pause that you're really dialing into the core, your deepest core muscles here. We have layers of core muscles. This one works the deepest ones, your transverse abdominals. Five more seconds here, then we're going to squat. And time, good. Let's get ready to squat, or you're going to be doing your seated alternating leg extension, okay? Remember, squatting, heels are about shoulder width apart, slight flare out with the toes, okay? Keep those knees in the direction of the toes. Here we go. You're holding that weight, goblet height right here at the chest, or you can do it body weight, okay? You can just kind of cross your hands right here. I'm gonna sink those hips back, and you're gonna drive through the heels to stand. Alternatively, if you're doing what I'm doing for round 1, we're going ahead and extending that leg long, flexing through the foot, and dialing into the top of the leg here, squeezing this quadricep here. I have 10 more seconds here. Then we're going to move on to our curl to press or our curl to external rotation. You're going to pick which one works for you. All right, so curl to press. Remember, knuckles out to the side, curl, press, bring it back, okay? If you're doing the external rotation instead, knuckles are down, curl, externally rotate, bring it back, okay? Here we go. You pick which one works for you. With that external rotation one, if you're choosing that variation there, I'm going to do a rep here. You're going to keep those elbows close to the rib cage, okay? Don't let them pull away from the rib cage. And remember, you can tailor these workouts. You can do a little bit of both, or you can round for round. You can switch it up. You might do 2 rounds like this, one with the external rotation. Okay, make this a happy place for you. Do something that you enjoy here. Okay, that is round 1. We're going back to round 2 with our lateral 3 count march, okay? So I am going to move to standing for the next 2 rounds. You can maintain seated if you're there and you'd like to. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, hold. What you can do here too is imagine yourself that you're stepping over hurdles, right? that to lift that knee up, right? To make sure that knee gets lifted up, right? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Whew. Almost there. 10 seconds. 3, 2, and time. Excellent. All right, back to squat, or for the seated variation, your alternating leg extension. Get your drinks whenever you need them, okay? Heels are about shoulder width apart, slight flare out with the toes. That way my knees follow the direction of my toes. Sink it back, drive it up. Pressing the heels into the floor, squeezing your glutes to lift yourself back up. I'm going to show you that side profile here. Good, 10 more seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Okay. Back to our curl and press, or our curl to external rotation. Okay, that is your modification if overhead pressing is not comfortable, or if you just like that one. Okay, if that's something that you feel is a better fit for you, not because you have issues pressing overhead, you just prefer that one, go ahead and do that one. Okay, remember, when you're standing here, I am squeezing my glutes. All right, keeping those engaged helps automatically put the core, the front of your stomach, into a nice tightened position there. Good, we're almost there. We've got 5 more seconds here, and then we're going to go through it one more time. Whew. 2, and time. All right, get your drinks when you need it. I'm feeling this one. Last time through of our lateral 3 count. Okay, seated or standing. 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. You move at your own rhythm. We all have different body shapes, body types, limitations, old injuries, things, arthritis, so you have to take all of those things into consideration. And remember, what it looks like for one person may not look identical to what it looks like for another person. But as long as you're feeling things like your legs and core working and your heart rate elevated, you're on the right path. Time. Okay. Goblet squat, with or without weight. You can always just cross your hands here, heels shoulder width apart, toes slightly out to the sides so that our knees stay in direction of it. Here we go. We're going to sink the hips back. We're going to drive up, back. Okay, and remember, your seated variation is that alternating leg extension, flexing at the ankle, and really squeezing and talking to that quadricep in the lengthened state. And it's the same thing here. As we're driving up, we feel the glutes work to lift, but as we're standing up, you should feel like you're squeezing your whole leg and working that quadricep too. Almost there. 3, 2, and 1. Whew. Okay, almost done this first block here. We're going to do our curl to press or curl to external rotation, seated or standing. Remember, if you're standing, tuck and squeeze your glutes. Okay, here we go. Curl, press, bring it back. Here's from the side. Curl. You see how you can see my knuckle the whole time? I'm not rotating through that shoulder, or wrist. And remember, curl, external rotate is your other option. Now this one, our knuckles are down, so the direction does switch on this one if you choose to do this option. Almost done this block. 5 more seconds, then we're gonna break. And time. Nice work. Boy, I'm nice and warm that first block through. Okay. Block 2. Lunges. Okay, so remember, we can use the full back of our chair with 2 hands. We can use 1 hand with the chair to our side. We can use no hands and just have it somewhere close by in case you need it, or we can do our seated variation. Okay, so remember, it's step back, lower down, keeping that heel in contact with the floor, drive it up, return, other leg. Okay, remember, you're predominantly working that front leg when you're lunging. The back one, 80% of your weight is in the front, about 20 is in the back leg. Okay, all right, and then our seated variation is we're kind of leaned back here, scooped and leaned back, and it's our alternating leg press. Okay, after lunging, we have hinge and row. Okay, hinge, we're gonna row it and bring it back. Hinge, row, and back. Okay, hinge, row, and back. All right, so we get to work our lat muscles as well as our whole posterior side of the body here. Okay, all right, and our last one, tricep kickbacks. Okay, so really just putting a nice strong emphasis on squeezing. Even if you're not using weights, you just contract this muscle back here. Okay, contract. All right, you want to make that mind muscle connection. So I'm going to be doing round 1 seated. Okay, we're going back to the top here with lunges to start. All right, so let's get ready. Alternating lunges or a seated alternating leg press with me. Ready and begin. Okay, so remember, for the seated variation, I'm kind of closer towards the edge of my seat so that I can lean and scoop back. All right, so my back is rounded here and I'm trying to scoop my core. And I'm going to pick this knee up, then I'm going to drive the heel forward like I'm trying to press something really heavy away from me. Good, we have 10 more seconds here, and then we're going to move on to our hinge and row combination. 3, 2, and 1. Good. All right, grab onto your weights or water bottles, or just use mind muscle connection. All right, feet are underneath the hips, toes are forward. We're going to get ready to push those hips back towards the wall behind us and begin. If you're seated, we're just hinging forward with the neutral spine. We're rowing it and then coming back up. Okay, especially with the standing variation, I really want you to think of using your glutes to lift you back up to standing. Should feel a nice stretch through the back of the body and then a squeeze as you lift yourself back up. Excellent. We have 10 more seconds here, and then we're going to go to tricep kickbacks. And time. Okay. So next we have tricep kickbacks. All right, so you don't need to have much of a lean here, you know, just a little bit here. You can have your feet about shoulder to hip width apart here. And remember, you're just really making that mind muscle connection. Okay, you're thinking when those arms are extended long, you're talking to those triceps. You're telling them, are you engaged? All right, are you contracted here? All right. So saying really focused here, try not to, so easy to sometimes let our thoughts wander. You know, it's just, you know, very easy to do at any point of the day. Try to stay focused here. Try to think of just your triceps. for 45 seconds, right? 3, 2, and 1. Whew, okay, that's round 1. So get your drinks if you need them. Back to the top with lunges or your alternating seated leg press. All right, I'm gonna do my lunges by using both hands on the bench or on the back of the chair. I'm gonna step it back, lower down, drive it up, return, okay? Remember, the quality of your repetition is first and foremost, okay? So if you feel like your quality is not where you'd like it, slow it down, okay? Like I said, I'd rather see you do 5 good reps than 10 not so good reps, okay? Because that way you're teaching your body to remember how to do it correctly versus teaching it how to do it incorrectly. Those habits are harder to break, you know, when we learn something incorrectly. So focus on the quality and time. Whew, back to hinge and row. Feet are underneath the hips, toes are facing forward. All right, so just like this. All right, and then here we go. We push the hips back. I'm gonna row it, and then I'm gonna squeeze the glutes to lift. Push the hips back. And what you can see is that the angle in my leg comes here because I pushed my hips back. My shin still stays up and down, okay? It's one of the main differences between a squat and a hinge pattern, okay? When we squat, our shin is no longer vertical. It has more of an angle like our thigh does in this hinge movement. Three, 2, and 1. Good. Back to tricep kickbacks. Again, take your drinks whenever you need it. And remember, this time is just a guide. You can always stop a few seconds early or start a few seconds late. Okay. Here we go. Kickbacks. What are you guys thinking about right now? Triceps, right? Remember, if you're standing and say you feel some discomfort in the lower back or something like that, try seated, okay? That'll definitely help take some of that discomfort away. So play around with the options we have here. Almost there. 5, 2, and time. Okay, one more time through. Okay, remember, whenever you need a drink, go ahead and take it. Final set of lunges or alternating seated leg press. When you're ready, here we go. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, right? 4 count. You're gonna adjust your footing. If you feel that your heel on that front foot is popping off the floor, try to adjust your stance to a way where it maintains connection to the floor, because that's really where you want to be pressing through that floor to get that glute involved. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, all done with lunges. Last set of hinge and row. Okay, seated or standing, feet are coming right underneath the hips, toes are forward. All right, it's this pushing back, okay, that creates our hinge. And then we row it, squeeze the glutes to return up. I think by thinking of my hips pushing back towards the wall, I feel like it's an easier cue to maintain that neutral spine, right? Versus thinking of your head bowing down towards the floor. We might have more of a tendency to round through our upper back, okay? 5 more seconds. And time. Whew. Okay. Feeling this today. We got tricep kickbacks, okay? Final set of these. Let's get ready and begin. So when my arms are lengthened, I'm squeezing. You can even pretend like you're trying to push your fists through sand, right? That's going to help create that tension, right? Like you're pushing through sand here. You got to push it through to extend those arms long. Ten more seconds here, and then we are moving on. 3, 2, and time. Excellent. That is our second block done. Recover. We're moving on to our third, and we are getting a little more cardio with this one. So they will be body weight, and we are starting with our 3 count knee repeater. Okay, remember we have to kind of switch off for the standing variation, back, back, forward, and switch. Okay, and then if it's seated, we don't have to worry about that switch off at all. We are just doing 3, 2, 1, other side. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, so you pick which variation or mix it up and do a little bit of both. After that, we have our mambo, what we did in our warm-up. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, twist. 1, 2, 3, and tap. 1, 2, 3, crossover. I like that better. 1, 2, 3, crossover. 1, 2, 3, crossover. So just like the warm-up. Okay, and remember our seated is 1, 2, 3, tap. 1, 2, 3, tap. Okay, so you feel this little stretch coming through the side here. And then our last one, kick back and pull back. Straight arm pull back here. Okay, so we're going to try to get the heart rate up here. I'm going to do round 1 seated. All right, so we are starting with our alternating 3 count knee repeater. Remember that little switch off for the standing, because I'm starting seated. So remember 1, 2, 3, back, back, forward. You're set up for the other side. Okay, all right, here we go. And 3, 2, and 1. 1, 2, 3. You could actually still do the switch off for the seated if you wanted to put a little march in there. Remember, we're starting to work the heart muscle a lot more here, getting into our cardio round here. You might notice that body temperature going up even more. 2 and 1. Okay, your heart rate, you might feel a little more breathy. As long as, you know, out of a 1 to 10, you're about like a 6 or 7, maybe even an 8 if you're advanced. Okay, but you know, you want to feel confident. Okay, here we go with our mambo. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3, cross it over. 1, 2, 3, step over. Remember, if you feel comfortable, you can kind of dance it on the balls of your feet. Okay, kind of like on your toes a little bit. Only if you feel confident with that. Otherwise, stay on your full foot. The idea is we just keep on practicing this till it kind of becomes like a dance, right? So you find your flair and your own personal rhythm and personal flair. Always looking to have a little fun with our workout too. And time. Okay, good. The next one is our kickback with that straight arm pull back. Okay. All right. So standing, think about flexing your foot as you pull back. You'll get deep into your hamstring here. Our seated variation, we're going to just toe tap it back because of the nature of being in the seated position. Okay. Move at your own tempo. Round for round. You might start to feel that accumulated fatigue. So you can always rest a little early if you like. Take extra water break, okay? 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, that's round 1. Whew, back to those 3 count knee repeaters. So the complete reverse, we just went like this with the leg, and now we're going like this, all right? So they're nice opposing exercises, all right? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Back. Whew, 3 more seconds. 2 and 1. All right. Whew, okay. Back to that mambo, okay? So 1, 2, 3, crossover. Ready? And begin. So it's 1, 2, 3, crossover. It's kind of like you push that hip out, right? 1, 2, 3, hip. 1, 2, 3, hip. 1, 2, 3, hip. Three, 2, and time. Okay. Kick back and pull back. Let's get ready. 3, 2, and 1. So remember, with that standing variation, I'm keeping that foot flexed right here. If you'd like to spice it up a little bit and you want to add some movement, you can always do some like half circles around. Totally not necessary, especially if it makes you dizzy, but you know, you might, again, you might like just spicing it up a little bit. Otherwise, just stay right forward and back, okay? Whatever works for you. Keeping that foot flexed. I'm feeling my hamstrings right now. I feel the back of my leg. I'm also getting a nice stretch right through the front of my leg as well. 3, 2, 1. Woo! Round 2. All right. I'm breathing a little heavy here. That's all good and normal. As long as you don't feel dizzy or anything like that, it's okay to feel a little discomfort. Last time through, 3 count knee repeater. When you're ready, begin. After we're done this final round, we're going to do some ab exercises to finish. 10 more seconds here. 5, 2, and 1. Whew. Okay, back to our final set of our mambo. Okay, so 1, 2, 3 seated, you're crossing over, or it's 1, 2, 3, and you're kind of crossing over and pushing that hip up. Okay, ready? And begin. And I'm not one to have a lot of rhythm, so I am chanting in my head that 1, 2, 3. That's how I have to do it. Nothing wrong with that. Last 10 seconds. 5. And time on those. Final set of our kickbacks with the pullback. Whew. In 5, 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. I'm just such a fan of these. I'm really a fan of your basics and your classic exercises, not too overly complicated, because I think it really gives you the opportunity to dial in and not have to think about all these other components. Like right now, I'm just keeping that foot flexed and I'm dialed in on my hamstring and I feel that muscle working. I feel the front of my leg stretching and I feel my heart rate going up. Almost there. 5, 4, 3, 2, and time. Woo. All right, guys. Nice work. Get a drink. We are almost done. We are just going to do 2 rounds through of ab exercises. We're going to go on a 45-15. We're going to keep it on here. We're just going to do 2 rounds. It's 3 exercises. Okay. And we'll build ourselves up to more rounds, but just increase the time on these. Okay. So I alter things that way. So what we are doing here is our sit squat to lean back. Okay. So feet are about shoulder hip width apart. Okay. You're going to sit it down closer towards the edge of the chair so you have room to lean back, and then you're going to exhale, drive up, and then stand up. Okay. Let me just give you a side profile too. All right. So my feet are shoulder width apart. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to sink it down, lean back. Do you see how I'm trying to create this C, right? That C. And then I'm coming up, driving up, down, scoop, up, up. Okay. And if we're seated, we're going to do leg extension, scoop, up. Okay. Leg extension, scoop, up. I'm going to do all of them, the 2 rounds standing, but that is your seated variation and alternating leg extension with the scoop. After that, we're going to be doing our out, out, in with an oblique twist. So I'm going to show you from the side first, since my chair is already this way. Okay, so I'm scooped right here. I'm towards the edge of my chair. I'm scooped. I'm kind of putting my hands up in front of my chest here. I'm going to tap my heel out, bring it in, twist, twist, out, in, twist, twist. Bring it back, out, in, twist, twist. Okay, so that's our second one. And then our third one is our 3 per side knee tucks. Okay, so depending on what kind of chair you have, you're either holding on to the sides or maybe you have arms. Okay, you're holding on to either the arms or the side of the chair. I'm still scooped and leaned back and on the edge of my chair. And it's 1, 2, 3, other side. 1, 2, 3, other side. 1, and I'm sorry, think of bringing your upper body and your knee together. Okay, 1, 2, 3, other side. 1, 2, 3, other side. Okay. All right, so we're going to start with our sit squat to lean back. I actually think I'm going to keep my chair on the side profile because that way you can see the lean. Okay, so let's get ready. standing position here is how we're going to start. Or if you're remaining seated, you're going to do an alternating leg extension in lieu of the sit squat. Let's get ready. Begin. Here we go. I'm going to sink it back, scoop it back, forward, drive it up, back, scoop, forward, up. So it's like you're doing a crunch with a squat. Think of that C curve of the spine. Very different from when we hinge and I say, let's place a tray on your back. Now I'm telling you to do the complete reverse. I'm saying scoop it around that spine. Three, two, and one. Good. Now we're going to do the out, out, in to oblique twist. Okay. So I'm going to sink it back, in, come up and twist. Okay. Here we go. Out, out. I'm tapping my heels in, twist. Good. Halfway. Three, two, and time. Okay, last one in this ab circuit is our 3 per side knee tuck. Okay, so I'm kind of leaning back. I'm holding onto the sides of my chair, and it's the body comes in towards the knee. Ready? There we go. So it's 1, 2, 3. Other side. 1, 2, 3. Other side. Woo. We're going to go back to the top after this for one more round through. Three, two, and time. Okay. Nice work. We have one more time through. So we're going back to our sit squat to lean back. Or you're going to do your alternating leg extension to lean back. Okay. So standing up, I got my heels about shoulder width apart. I'm going to sink it back towards the edge of my seat. And then drive it up. If you want to create more of a challenge, cross your arms across your shoulders here, keeping your hands and your arms up higher creates more of a challenge for the core. If that's too advanced, just keep your arms wherever they assist you, okay? Scooping, making that C curve. 3, 2, time. Good. Now we're going to do our out, out, in, lean back, and then come up for an alternating oblique twist, okay? So same thing. If you'd like to increase your challenge this time, let's go ahead and put our arms up here. Here we go. So I'm going to sink it back, out, out, in, twist, twist, out, out, in, twist, twist. Good. 5 more seconds. And time on those. All right, final ones. We have that full body crunch. Okay, so we're going to bring that knee in as we kind of lift that, curve that body up towards the knee. All right, let's get ready. Here we go. We got 1, 2, 3, other side. 1, 2, 3, other side. Ten more seconds. 3, 2, and time. All right, nice job, guys. Let's stay seated in our chairs to start our cool down here, okay? Let's start with a forward fold, rounding the back forward, okay? So sit back on your chair for this one so you don't feel like you're gonna topple off your chair, okay? But go ahead and just round forward, okay? Just kind of like ragdoll it, all right? If you feel comfortable here, you can hold your elbows on either side, all right, with your forearms rest on one another. And you're just letting go here, all right? As long as you don't feel dizzy or too much acute, like, you know, sharp pains or anything, we're just kind of stretching out that back. If your arms are, if you're grabbing your elbows, release. And then gently and very slowly, think of rolling up one vertebrae at a time. Okay, and then from there, we're going to go ahead and we're going to do 4 arc overs, and then we're going to hold on 5 and 6. Okay, so we're going to arc over. Just follow my count here. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Now on 5, we're going to hold. 5, looking over that back shoulder. Breathing. You're not forcing the stretch. Okay, you're just kind of getting comfortable in it. And now arc over to the other side. This is 6. Again, not forcing, not trying to make your, but force it into the position you want it to. Just go where it is and take a deep breath in it. Try to just let go, okay? It's easy to think with stretching, you're supposed to force it into the length, and that's not, that actually makes the muscle spasm, which is not what we want to do. And good, and come back to center, all right? So from here, let's just do some neck rolls, semicircles here. So from elbow to elbow, or shoulder to shoulder, I mean. Good, and bring it back to center, okay? And now we're gonna do neck and trap. We're gonna pick one side to start with. We're just gonna gently pull and press. You can stay right here, or if you feel like you have a little more range of motion, you can take that knuckle, bend at the elbow, and let that knuckle press on the small of your back and feel the stretch deepen. And let's, if you're doing that, let's release that hand, okay, and then release the hand on the head, come back to center, give another semicircle neck roll on either side. And then let's set up for the other side. Okay, so we're gently gonna pull, and then we're gonna gently press. Feel that stretch to the side of the neck and the trap muscle. You can stay right here for the full stretch, or if you have the mobility and can go for a deeper stretch, you're gonna bend at the elbow, let those knuckles touch the small of the back. Good. If you were bending at the elbow, you can go ahead and gently release that. And then let's gently release the head and give one more semicircle neck roll on either side. All right, let's go ahead and stand up. We'll do 2 more stretches here. We're going to do our forward fold. Okay, so on the back of the chair, we're just keeping our palms on the back of the chair, and we're trying to create that nice neutral spine. Arms are those forearm, or I mean, those biceps are kind of near the ears. All right, feeling that stretch through the shoulder joint, stretch through the back of the legs. And if you like, you can stay still here, or if you'd like, you can kind of sway your hips from side to side, like wagging a tail, like a dog would wag a tail. You're just swaying one side and then the other. That's just an option. You can stay still here if you prefer, or you can explore that gentle movement and see how it feels with your body. Good. When you're ready, go ahead and slowly walk yourself up. Okay. And we're going to finish off with a hamstring stretch. So if you can, you're going to lift your foot up onto your chair. Okay. And you're going to lean forward and feel that stretch through the back of the leg. If this is too intense and you have lower elevation, you can do that. And if you don't have lower elevation and this is too intense, you can do it from your seated position here in your chair. Okay. All right. So you pick the variation that works best for you. Just a few more seconds on this leg. Good. And then relax it. Before we go to the other side though, just take that same leg we just stretched, get your ankle here. Okay, flex and point about 5 times. And then circle 5 each direction too. All right. Good. And once you've done that, other side. So either hamstring stretch on the chair, on a rise or a lower elevation, maybe a step stool or a footstool, or seated. Okay. Feeling the back of the leg stretch here. Good. Just a few more seconds here. And gently come out of that stretch. And we're going to finish off with ankles, flex and point for 5. And then circle 5 each direction. Excellent. And once you've done that, we've just got 2 big inhales, okay, to finish off. Here we go. Inhale, exhale, palms to heart. And one more time. Exhale, palms to heart. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed that one today. I had fun with that one. I like the abs at the end. I actually liked it better with just the 3 exercises. I hope you guys did too, but let me know how, how everything's going for you guys, okay?